What's going on, guys? I'm gonna stay online for a little bit, but just wanted to pop in for maybe like 10-15 minutes and just talk about a few different things. Kind of, it's been not very good if you're in the cryptocurrency markets. If you're invested in the altcoin market, or you're in some of these different cryptocurrency exchanges and platforms. So what are some of the bright spots? I think that's kind of what I wanted to take a little bit of a gander at, or a little bit of a having a little bit of a chat about. So last year we saw Bitcoin go from $1,000 to $20,000, hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. And like the trend that we've seen now, it's just been a huge bear market where it's been stagnating at 6,000. And there's talks that it may go to lower than that. Some people want to see it, lower than that. It's anybody's guess as to where we'll see big swings in the market. Technical analysis might give us some indications in terms of like where we may see the market as a whole, but it's trading. Some of the major altcoins, some of those avenues, not as not as much opportunity in those, I guess. And the decentralized app space has kind of been like the next progression of that. So I've been talking quite a bit about that. There's certainly a lot of opportunities to do well in those avenues. So I'm going to talk about a few of them. Like Proof of Weak Hands, FOMO, Zephyr, Linea, all these other platforms, Gandhi, Party. There's been a few others. That's like, there's those ones right now seem to be the ones that at least that I've been doing the best with. Like if you're looking at like altcoins, to pick, like I did a review of that with like the top 100 coins, kind of going through like 20 at a time and kind of giving my take and my impressions. There's certainly some projects out there that I'm interested in getting more invested in. I can talk a little bit about some of those, and that might be where we see some of the opportunity. But the some of the volatility software, that's kind of like a topic I wanted to explore for a little bit. Like that's where I see also some opportunity. There's been some interest in that. There's been, I've had some discussions, with some people that are interested in understanding a little bit more about that. I'm, also talking, to some people that are in the works of working on platforms that kind of, deal with that. But I think some guy called Craig Clover Grant has been arrested by the FBI at the airport for the BitConnect scam. Yeah, I talk with the FBI, but like they just they're just trying to get some information. Like they wasn't arrested or nothing really. Like they're just they're just trying to get some information. So not a whole lot for me to really tell them or explain. Like not, and I think everyone is still uncertain as to what the full story is. Like I said, I'm still trying to find out some more information. I don't know if I will. I hope that the developers with BitConnect decide to do something positive, come back and at some extent. But right now everything's just kind of been on the sidelines and it's been on hold. So Bitcoin went up because of BCC. Yeah, that was one of the things I was kind of talking about. You saw those platforms kind of scale together, at least until like mid-November. That's when I did that interview with Satish, where I was kind of asking, about like his thoughts on why we were seeing that change a little bit, where like BCC was going down as Bitcoin was spiking. Because there's a lot of people that are interested in say like holding BCC and kind of earning that way, because there's a lot of different ways to kind of like earn in crypto. So there's mining, but there's lending or lending type, like things where you're kind of getting invested in platform. I mean, ICOs can be looked at as like lending in a sense, because you don't have the same liquidity of being able to get in other platforms. Staking has been kind of a newer one. There's a few platforms that are better than others. And also just trading, or just holding, or playing on different arbitrage, or arbitraging certain coins between playing on different price differences between the exchanges. Like the arbitraging platform that I've been kind of talking quite a bit about seems to be a very promising one in terms of being able to kind of make that a little bit of an easier process, as opposed to maybe requiring a little bit more technical know-how to make some of those trades. But crypto dead, sell. I think it's just a consolidation, and it's kind of weeding out some of the people that are, I mean, I just think we're gonna see things consolidate, and then that kind of positions the market for a little bit of a breakout, where you might see a little bit of a kind of a massive kind of movement in the market. And typically that's like, if you've been watching my channel, a lot of that's been attributed to activity in Asia. And I think that if you have maybe some indicators as that's about to happen for whatever reason in Asia, like some of those can be great ways to do well in the bear market, if you're kind of staying tuned into the news and you're staying up on different trends that are happening in cryptocurrency. So like the shorting of coins, or different platforms that allow you to do that is another opportunity. If you feel like there might be some information that you have where you're able to maybe take some different positions. That's another one, but it's also very risky. Like I mean, for the most part, like if you're in crypto, a lot of times people are very bullish about different things. But ban in India will be lifted soon, 100%. Well, some of these nation states that are trying to control crypto are quickly going to realize that that's going to be difficult to do. I think that's why, like, you saw a lot of centralized platforms last year that were, maybe subject of attack, or maybe just having like scalability issues. Like we were seeing that a little bit with BCC, like at times where it was like crashing the website because there's so many people trying to get into it. We saw that with proof of weak hands. We saw that with arbitraging at one point. If you see kind of like a massive movement of a lot of people getting into one particular platform, and they're not able to handle the traffic, I think those are kind of interesting elements to look at. But BCC can only save BTC. I don't know about that, but like I think that I think there needs to be a few projects that people get excited about for us to kind of really see another wave of adoption. Like, I think a lot of people are getting excited about some of those platforms where you had the opportunity to earn money. You know, it came under attack, and you know, there's some different theories behind you know what instigated some of that. But if we're taking a look at you know what's going to happen in the future, I think that's the thing I'm kind of looking at. Like, there may be here in the not too distant future a few projects or platforms that come up that are kind of like under the radar, and getting into those and having those really kind of take off and maybe do much better than some of the projects that are a little bit older, or you know, just at least have been around a little bit, but don't have maybe the same potential to really like explode with their market cap. So what are some of those platforms or opportunities? I don't know. I still think I'm focusing on the decentralized app space. I could see a lot of potential behind that. I've had a lot of conversations with some people that are working on some really cool things, you know, and you know, getting ready to launch. They want me to kind of get behind it and support it. You know, I'm kind of wanting a little bit more, you know, a little bit more history, you know, before I start looking into some of those projects too much. Yeah, BCC is still a really good tech. You know, 2-minute block times, like the speed that you know, it just works. You know, the staking is good. It can be a little bit technical for people, but there's you know, there's other projects and platforms that are promising even a little bit better, like block times, or you know, better tech in certain respects. But you know, I don't know. I think a lot of that may end up not being as interesting or relevant, you know, as it maybe becomes a little bit more standard. Like, people just get used to having faster block times and not having to wait, you know, more than 5 minutes to complete a transaction. Like right now, the kind of dealing with that with some of the larger ones, or larger altcoins, or in Bitcoin. Give me a little peek of kind of where I'm at. See the water there. Cool little spot. P3D. Let's talk about P3D a little bit. You know, I haven't really kind of looked at, you know, what was going on. Last time I checked, there was a huge, massive buy-in, so that was interesting to see. You know, I'm still theorizing it's going to, you know, kind of retract a little bit. I've actually been surprised it's been holding value as well as it has been, especially in this market. But, you know, maybe that's a testament to the decentralized app space as a whole. Perhaps I'm wrong on that. Nothing happened in the last few days. I just, you know, I thought it would have been lower than it is right now. I was kind of theorizing, you know, we're going to see, you know, steady, you know, decrease and decline below 40,000, maybe to 35,000. I mean, it's kind of like this, you know, it's kind of like another. It's kind of like a newer form of like Bitcoin in a way. Like, I've kind of, you know, mentioned that a few times. It's you know, even though it wasn't like the original or the first, but it had a certain kind of level of adoption, I guess, or just, you know, it's been the big one, the best performing one right now in that space. I think you know, it has a lot of potential, and those types of technologies and platforms. I think there's going to be maybe another one that emerges that, you know, overtakes P3D that just has a whole nother level of innovation that people are just looking at, and just it would be difficult not to get involved with like a project like that, I guess. I'm interested in kind of what may happen with like an Ethereum staking wallet. I think that's an interesting concept, and kind of what David's working on with the Vault. I got to see a little bit of that, so I think that's an interesting development. And they're working on other stuff too. When you start getting into kind of like the gambling scene, like Linea and Zephyr, a lot of these other apps that have been classified as gambling, but I'd love to see a sports betting one. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be one I'd be very interested in. Just I'd probably get more interest in kind of interacting with that. I think that's part of it too, is like getting cryptocurrency platforms and technologies and things like that you're engaged with and interacting with and using on a daily basis. That's part of it, like, because a lot of the other ones have just been purely speculative. When you're looking at like the altcoin market, you're getting into something, you're investing in it, you may have some liquidity, but are you really engaging with it? Are you really using it? Are you really, I don't know, maybe like with Ethereum, if you're just kind of getting into Ethereum or whatever, like, yeah, you're engaged with it, you're using it, you're spending it. If you're selling into fiat or something, like I was kind of doing a little bit of that in Asia. I was selling some Ethereum to get some cash to pay for things, travel and expenses and everything when I had there. But I'd rather hold in crypto. I was kind of looking at getting a little bit more, like if I get set up and get a little bit more some things geared in the right way in the office, in an office setting. I'm interested in maybe doing some more stuff where I could transact in fiat and take advantage of having some fiat on the sides that you can invest into crypto when we're kind of bottoming out in the market right now. FOMO 3D long at 2 minutes. I saw it at like 5 minutes. Really kind of staying at 5 minutes. I don't know if they're like, if people are able, like, I know some people are claiming that they're writing scripts to kind of put keys in. They're processing. So I think people are trying to kind of like look at like sniping the contract. I'm interested in a little bit. Bots won't let it die. Well, one of the things about the Soon project, I know that like, I think there was one point where like the timer like dropped to 0, but then it like shot back up, and it wasn't like the timer necessarily wasn't reflective of what was going on in the contract. So it's like the website just wasn't, maybe because of the speed of these platforms, it wasn't reporting accurately. So maybe we see something like that, like where it drops and it actually hits like 0 or something, but that's not what's actually happening within the smart contract. It's just like kind of like the website's just a interface for the smart contract. That's the smart contract's actually where that contract is. There will be a mathematical point in time where the miners will attempt the same as they did on FOMO short. Yeah. What do you think of ETH sell-off, where it seems the ICOs are in domino effect, cashing in all their funds? I'm really surprised to see ETH as low as it is because of the utility that we've been seeing in the decentralized app space. Like, so many people are getting involved in these projects and everything. I mean, a lot of them are crypto people, and like maybe some of those numbers are just kind of like this kind of first wave of like early adopters, but you're seeing, that's kind of like the English-speaking world. I think like you saw a huge ramp up with the Chinese market, like, especially with especially some of these platforms that really kind of like popped off, like the FOMO long, like that's all Chinese money that kind of made that contract explode. You know, there's a lot of people that are kind of like in that early or like involved with it, but it was interesting to see that, just that whole ramp up and that, you know, that kind of that wave of adoption. I don't know if we're going to see something, you know, like that again. I hope so, but that's kind of what I was theorizing, is you're going to see it kind of act like a snake. So if people are sniping this contract and they, you know, this is something where they feel like that it's not going to, it's not going to bottom out, and there's an incentive to kind of get in with the expectation of a return. If you're still feel like you're early in on this project, if you feel like that contract's not going to die for a long time, it's a little bit of a gamble there, but you know, maybe we see something like that. Like the dividends have been really good. Are you signing into Discord right now? I don't know. Maybe. I'll get in afterwards. But you know, I don't have a cell phone. I don't have Wi-Fi when I'm traveling, so it's only when I hook up to Wi-Fi. So my Discord kind of died off a little bit. Like, I don't know. Maybe I look at kind of doing that in a little bit different direction. I mean, I did it more just kind of giving back to people that have been, you know, contributors or people that have been involved in my channel. And I was glad I was able to kind of, you know, help some people out. There were some really interesting stories. Like you can kind of look in there to the giveaway winners. And you know, I also wanted to keep it kind of exclusive. Like I didn't do a whole lot of people. I didn't want a whole lot of people like in my Discord. At least not yet. But just still trying to see the value in that. Like I've seen some people that started Discord channels, kind of been at it for a little bit, and then just kind of, you know, dropped off. So I don't know. I don't know if Discord's the, you know, the best one for me, but FOMO 3D round 2 lurking, maybe. Are you still in ours, Clover? Yeah. Yeah, I'm in a bunch of Discord channels. I don't necessarily engage all the time, or you know, I might kind of go in there and kind of see some different things, but it's definitely a great platform. Like there's some value there for sure. Like there's people exchanging some really interesting ideas. Oh, I'm scared of heights. Look at how high I'm up there. Back to 4 minutes now. I remember it was bouncing around like 5 minutes or so, and then you saw it kind of reset. Like somebody maybe, you know, bought a bunch of keys as an investment. Like we still haven't seen. It's been American and it's been in Mandarin. We haven't seen the Indian market, the Korean market. You know, I haven't seen some of these other larger foreign markets really kind of enter that contract. And perhaps, you know, if they see that it's kind of like sustained for quite a while and they think it's going to be, you know, a long time before that ends, because people possess the technology to keep the contract around, you know, like, I mean, theoretically, like I would have an incentive, since I bought a lot of keys, I would have an incentive to kind of keep that contract going, you know, and to keep it pumping. And maybe you're seeing other people that kind of have the same deal with that. Are you, Clover, are you able to visit with your old dog while you were there? That is actually a very sad story. So I'm gonna just briefly talk about that. Like, the woman that I gave my dog to, you know, I know she's taken very good care of my dog, but the woman's fucking nuts. And so I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm in town for a little bit. This might be the last time I get to see my dog. Can I, you know, I'd like to see my dog before I go. She wanted $3,500 for me to go see my dog. and the reason she gave was just absolutely ridiculous. So, like, one of them is she basically was saying that, like, I didn't pay for a sump pump, like, on my boat, which I gave her fucking cash. I gave her more money than she paid for the whole thing. And then she's also claiming a bunch of vet bills. She says she has all of these vet bills and things like that, which I know were bogus because a lot of those bills were in my name. So it had nothing to do with her. It was just, I got so fucking mad at her. Because she's just like, you know, all she wants is money. Like, she's just, I remember dealing with that. Like, I even gave her like $500, you know, like, just out of the goodness of my heart, you know. It was like, hey, like, just, you know, I gave her like, I gave her everything, and she was like just saying, she was just negative about everything. She wasn't appreciative of anything that I did, you know. So I guess I'm probably not going to see my dog ever again, which is unfortunate. You know, I was hoping at least I'd be able to see my dog again, but yeah, man, it sucks. It really does. I really wanted to see my dog, but the thing is like I was with my dog for the majority of her life, and she's getting into this stage where she's getting much older, and I just with what I'm doing and my travels, I can't take care of her. I can't give her the care she needs. Like, I'm here traveling, I'm planning on going all over the place. Like, my dog was in Vietnam right now, and I had somebody like taking care of her. I don't know if I'd be able to trust them and whatnot. So yeah, it sucks, but I had a good time, you know, with my dog. I had her for, you know, a little over 10 years. I think she's going to live a long life. Like, she's a very small dog, and typically, like, the smaller dogs live a lot longer. Confront her in person and surprise her. I don't know where she lives. Like, she's secretive about that. She took care of the dog. She fell in love with my dog, that's for sure. You know, they might eat your dog in Vietnam. Yeah, they do that there. Sounds like extortion to me. Yeah, I mean, like, I had a feeling she was going to do that. Like, you know, I was ready to take my dog to Vietnam, and she, you know, like, we got into this huge argument and everything, and, you know, afterwards I basically decided, you know what, like, you know, maybe this is the better option, but I want to still have access to my dog. I still want to be able to see my dog when I come back into town, and she's not going to abide by that. So, she wants thousands of dollars for me to see her dog. Did I know the lady before? No. You know, I paid for a place for her to live for 8 months. I paid rent, electricity, internet. I paid for everything. All I said was just, you know, stay on my boat and make sure my boat doesn't sink. You know, and take care of my dog. Like, that's all she had to do. She's like a Lyft driver, so she doesn't make that much money. But, like, yeah, like, blackmail, or not blackmailing, but just, yeah, like, she's trying to extort me for money. Because, like, she knows I'm in crypto. She knows, like, I'm, you know, that I'm, at least at one point, was doing pretty well. But tell her you'll pay and find out where the dog is, then just go and see the dog. Maybe. I don't have much time, though. Like, yeah, I don't know. Sore subject, I guess. Yeah, long plane rides and old dogs don't mix well. I feel like she's in better hands. Like, she takes good care of the dog. I don't necessarily agree with everything. Like she's giving the dog, like, insulin shots. So, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much more. But at least she's taking care of the dog. Beautiful day today. The lady is watching. I don't know. I don't know if she watches my channel or not. This is a newer building they built right here. What's going on, Mike? All right, guys. It's been about a half hour, so I think I might call it a stream. I'll get on tomorrow. See if there's anything new to talk about, but just trying to stay positive. Kind of, you know, look at some different opportunities and things like that. But BCC being delisted on Trade Satoshi, but listed somewhere else. Like I don't know. Like is that happening? Like I heard some rumors. I heard it was getting. I don't know about that. I'm gonna look into it. Bitcoin getting slaughtered again. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all staying online. I'll catch you on the next one.